What's up, everyone? We're going to be going through the best WNBA player props on PrizePicks today. Now, I did want to show you the results from yesterday's picks from my exclusive Discord group, and as you guys see, we actually got 22 picks correct, which was absolutely insane. Now, a lot of you comment wanting to see how many I got wrong, and I thought I'd show you in today's video. We only got 2 picks wrong and got 22 right, which is a 95% win rate. Yes, guys, you heard that right. 95% win rate. So we're on a huge hot streak, but if you want to get a 95% win rate and get 22 picks right like me, win more bets and receive the best picks from some of the best bettors in the world for less than a cup of coffee, you can access the exclusive Discord and meet some of the best sport bettors in the game by joining my Patreon. Should be a link down below in the description. Once you join, you'll have complete access to the Discord and can start winning more bets today. So make sure to join my Patreon using the link in the description. And here's one of our members who just signed up and won himself $500 just yesterday, and another member who won $120 for the 6th day in a row since joining my Discord. So guys, if you want to win big money like our members, a link will be in the description, so go join the Patreon to have access to the Discord group, and I will be continuing to upload every single day on this channel the best bets and props, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my daily uploads. So quick shout out to Devin Gonzalez, who spammed up the party emoji. Shouts out to Amanda Smith YG6QX, who said Storm and Mystic for me. So shouts out to them, and if you do want to win a shout out in the next video, all you have to do is comment down below in this video and like it, and you can be in the running to win a shout out in the next one. All right, so let's get straight into the first pick. And when it comes to these picks, I'm not saying to chuck all of them into a parlay and hope for the best. Pick and choose the ones that you like and the ones that work best for you. So the first pick we're going to talk about is none other than Gabby Williams, and this one is for 4.5 assists, and this one actually is for less. Now, looking at Gabby Williams, we actually have seen her go on the under in 2 out of the last 5 games. Now, this one's an interesting one because we have seen that she has played some pretty interesting matchups. We see on July 25th, faced off against Chicago, had 7 assists there. Then July 27th, actually faced off against Washington Mystics and had 1 assist in that matchup. Then July 29th, faced off against Connecticut, had 2 assists there. August 2nd, face off against Los Angeles Sparks, had 8 assists in that matchup. And then August 4th, faced off against Indiana and actually had 5 assists there. So we have seen her face off against a couple of big teams in the sense that, you know, they have faced off against teams that are a bit of mix. Now, looking at this next matchup, we do know Seattle Storm and Gabby Williams do face off against Minnesota Lynx. Now, it is definitely going to be an interesting matchup here. Looking at both of these teams and where they do actually rank, we do know that Chicago, they did face off against Chicago first, but looking at so we do know Seattle, Minnesota, looking at where both of these teams do rank. Starting off with Seattle Storm, we do know that they actually come in at the 6th spot in the WNBA. Now, they have a record of 16 wins and also 13 losses, but they also rank 3rd in the Western Conference, which is interesting to see there. Now, they have a 55.2% win percentage. On top of that, they are also 8-7 from home, 8-6 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. Now, they do face off against none other than Minnesota Lynx, as we've mentioned. Now, Minnesota Lynx are in actually the same conference, but they do actually rank 1st in the WNBA and 1st in the Western Conference. So they have a record of 24 wins and 5 losses. That's an 82.8% win percentage. They're also 15-1 at home, 9-4 from away, and are currently on a 2-game win streak. Now, looking at this matchup further, we do know, looking at Minnesota Lynx defensively, we have seen Minnesota Lynx come in at the #1 spot when it comes to assists allowed. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this situation here. Looking at someone like Minnesota Lynx and a team like Minnesota, we have also seen that when it comes to this matchup, we do know, looking at Seattle and Minnesota, it is definitely going to be an exciting game, but we are expecting Minnesota to completely play some excellent defense that could definitely restrict Gabby Williams greatly. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this one. Looking at someone like Gabby Williams, we do also like the under due to the fact that when we also look at Minnesota, they also do a fantastic job at restricting assists to the forward position as well. So we definitely see that having a huge effect here. Now, looking at this matchup as well, when you look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have her favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So Gabby Williams, 4.5 assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. Now, getting into the next one, we're actually going to be talking about Kelsey Plum. So, Kelsey Plum, great player as we all know, and this one is a great one for assists as well, but this one's 5.5 assists, and this one also is for less. Now, looking at Kelsey Plum, we actually have seen her go on the under in 0 out of the last 5 games. We do see on July 23rd, faced off against Washington, had 7 assists there. July 25th, faced off actually against Connecticut, had 6 assists in that matchup. July 27th, then faced off against New York Liberty, had 8 assists in that matchup, 8 assists against Las Vegas Aces on July 30th, and then faced off and against Seattle Storm on August 2nd and had 7 assists there. So we actually have seen in this matchup, we have seen, Kelsey Plum go on the over quite consistently. Now we do like the under for this one, and we've actually seen over the last 5, her average is 7.2. Now coming into this matchup and looking at someone like Kelsey Plum, we do know Los Angeles Sparks do face off against Indiana Fever. Now it is going to be an exciting game, but looking at where both of these teams do rank, starting off with the Sparks, we do know that they come in at the 10th spot in the WNBA. Now, they have a record of 12 wins and 15 losses. That's a 44.4% win percentage. And on top of that, they are 3-9 from home, 9-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. Now, looking at the other side of things, they face off against none other than Indiana Fever. Now, Indiana Fever do come in at the 5th spot in the WNBA. However, they do rank 3rd in the Eastern Conference. Now, they have a record of actually 17 wins and 12 losses. That's a 58.6% win percentage, and on top of that, they are 9-6 from home, 8-6 from away, and are currently on a 5-game win streak. So looking at this matchup, it's definitely going to be an exciting one, but we do also see coming into this matchup, looking at Indiana Fever specifically, we do know that they come in at the 2nd spot when it comes to assists allowed. So, Indiana Fever do rank very high when it comes to restricting assists, and that's a big reason why we do very much like the under for this situation here. Although Kelsey Plum has gone on the over quite consistently over the last 5, the reason why we still do like on the under on this one is due to the fact, as we've always mentioned, matchups. That's what's most important, and with a matchup like Indiana Fever, they are a great defensive team, and we are expecting them to restrict Kelsey Plum greatly. So, for that reason, definitely keep an eye out for the under for this one for someone like Kelsey Plum. When we look at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have her favored for the under as well, so that works out in our favor there. So Kelsey Plum, 5.5 assists for less, I think is a fantastic pick. So getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about none other than Dearica Hamby. Now Dearica Hamby, great player as we all know, and this one is for 16.5 points, and this one actually is for less. Now looking at Dearica Hamby, we actually have seen her go on the under in 1 out of the last 5 games. Now looking at the 5 games, we do know July 23rd faced off against Washington Mystics, actually had 24 points there. Then July 25th faced off against Connecticut Sun, had 20 points in that matchup. July 27th faced off against New York Liberty, had 17 points there. Then July 30th faced off against the Las Vegas Aces, had 15 points in that matchup. Then August 2nd faced off against Seattle and had 21 points there. So as we mentioned, we have seen her go on the under in 1 out of the last 5, and we do see the average over the last 5 is also 19.4. So it is pretty interesting to see there. Now coming into this matchup, it's definitely going to be an exciting one, but we do know that Los Angeles Sparks do face off against Indiana Fever. So we have recently just talked about this matchup, but just to remind you all again, Los Angeles Sparks do rank 10th in the WNBA with a record of 12 wins and 15 losses, as a 44.4% win percentage. On top of that, they are 3-9 from home, 9-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. And they face off against Indiana Fever, who do rank 5th in the WNBA, but also rank 3rd in the Eastern Conference. So they have a record of 17 wins and 12 losses, a 58.6% win percentage. That is 9-6 from home, 8-6 from away, and are currently on a 5-game win streak as well. So we definitely have seen Dearica Hamby go on the under in 1 out of the last 5, but coming into this matchup as well, we do know Indiana Fever do rank 6 when it comes to points allowed. So Indiana Fever do rank pretty well. However, the reason why we still do like the under for this one is due to the fact that when we look on a per position basis, we actually have seen that Indiana Fever do a fantastic job at restricting points to the forward position. So for that reason, we do very much like the under for this one here. Coming into this matchup, we definitely do like the under due to the fact that we are expecting Indiana Fever to put a lot of the defensive pressure on someone like Wnba, who definitely has a high usage rate in the points department as well. So for that reason, we are expecting the defensive strategies to really be focused on someone like Wnba. And for that reason, looking at what the bookies are saying, bookies also have our favorite for the under as well. So that works out in our favor there. The Wnba 16.5 points for less, I think, is a fantastic pick. So as you all know, I do want to get these picks out to you as soon as possible, but PrizePicks is delayed with some of their lines. So here are a couple of players you should definitely watch out for when their lines drop. So the first player going to be talking about is none other than Haley Jones. Now, as you all know, Haley Jones is a fantastic player for none other than Dallas Wings, and she has done a fantastic job so far this season, averaging 6.7 points, 2.7 rebounds, 1.9 assists, and also 0.7 steals. So she's done a great job there for the Dallas Wings, and the Dallas Wings do have themselves a very, very interesting matchup as they do face off against New York Liberty. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game, no doubt about it, but looking at this matchup, we also do know, looking at someone like Haley Jones, we do know, you know, when it comes to the rankings of both of these teams, there is a little bit of a big difference there. Now, starting off with Dallas Wings, we do know that they rank 11th in the WNBA. So they rank 11th in the WNBA. On top of that, they have a record of 8-21. So 8 wins, 21 losses. That actually puts them in the last spot in the Western Conference as well. And they have a 27.6% win percentage. Now, they are 5-10 from home, 3-11 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. Now, as I've mentioned before, they do actually face off against none other than New York Liberty. And looking at New York Liberty, we do actually see that Liberty do rank second in the WNBA, but also rank first in the Eastern Conference. So they have a record of 18 wins and 10 losses. That's a 64.3% win percentage. And on top of that, they are 12-3 at home, 6-7 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. Now, looking at this matchup, we do also see that looking at, you know, New York Liberty and also Dallas Wings, we do know that both these teams are definitely going to try to give it their all, as you know, playoffs are just around the corner. Now, Dallas Wings definitely do have a long way to go, and it is looking less possible for them. But looking at New York Liberty defensively, we do know New York do rank 8th when it comes to points allowed. On top of that, assists allowed, they also do rank 8th, and then rebounds allowed, they also do rank 12th. So we actually have seen, you know, when it comes to New York Liberty, although they are a fantastic team and they do rank second, they actually do a pretty poor job at actually restricting points, rebounds, and assists. And for that reason, we do very much like the over for this situation here. Now, looking at someone like Haley Jones, we have seen her over the last 5 games have some pretty decent matchups. We did see on the 26th faced off against Golden State Valkyries, had an 86-76 loss there with 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. Then on the 28th faced off against the Las Vegas Aces, had a 106-80 loss with 15 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists there. After that, on the 29th faced off against New York Liberty, had a 92-82 win with 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists in that matchup. Then on the 31st faced off against Atlanta Dream, had an 88-85 loss with 12 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists there. Then faced off against Indiana, had an actual 88-78 loss there with 7 points, 0 rebounds, and 1 assist in that matchup. So we definitely have seen Haley Jones at times do very well, other times do a little bit poorly. Now, when you look at one of those recent games, we did actually see her face off against New York Liberty recently. Now, in that matchup, we did actually see her have 8 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists like we've mentioned, but we've actually did see her go on the over compared to her averages in all 3 categories. So we are expecting a similar sort of outcome coming into this next game. You know, she did a fantastic job against that one. like I've mentioned before, New York Liberty, although they are a great team, they do a very poor job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists. And a big reason for that is due to the fact that when it comes to New York Liberty, they do like to play fast-paced type basketball. And when it comes to the pace that they do like to play at, more pace means more volume, and more volume for someone like Haley Jones in the points, rebounds, and assist department. So definitely keep an eye out for the over for Haley Jones. Keep an eye out for that. So as I've always mentioned, if the line is under averages, then definitely look to go on the over. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Shakira Austin. So, as you all know, Shakira Austin, great player for Washington Mystics. Now, she has done a fantastic job so far this season, averaging 12.7 points, 6.7 rebounds, 1.8 assists, and also 1.1 steals. So, she's definitely done a great job there. And looking at this matchup, we do know that, Shakira Austin and the Washington Mystics face off against Chicago Sky. Now, it is definitely going to be an exciting game, no doubt about it. But looking at where both of these teams do rank, we have seen Mystics do a pretty decent job, so far this season. They do come in at the 9th spot in the WNBA, but actually rank 4th in the Eastern Conference. So they have a record of 13 wins and 15 losses. That's a 46.4% win percentage. They're also 9-6 from home, 4-9 from away, and are currently on a 2-game losing streak. Now, looking at the other side of this matchup, we do also know that they face off against Chicago Sky. Now, Chicago Sky are actually in the same conference, and they are one slot below them when it comes to the Eastern Conference. However, overall, Chicago Sky do actually rank 12th in the WNBA, but do rank 5th in the Eastern Conference, which is interesting to see there. Now, coming into this matchup, we do also know that when it comes to the Mystics and Sky, Sky do have a record of 7 wins and 21 losses. That's a 25% win percentage. They're also 4-10 from home, 3-11 from away, and are currently on an 8-game losing streak. So it has definitely been a little bit tough for this Chicago Sky team, and they are looking their best to try to end this losing streak as quick as they can. But looking defensively, we do know Chicago Sky do rank 11th when it comes to points allowed. They also rank 12th in assists allowed, and when it comes to rebounds allowed, they've actually fallen quite a bit, but they find themselves in the 7th spot. They used to be a lot higher in that category. However, overall, for someone like Shakira Austin, we do actually like the over for this situation here. Now, a big reason being is that Chicago Sky do allow a lot of points, rebounds, and assists. So coming into this matchup, we do very much like the over for this situation here. Now, looking at someone like Shakira, we actually have seen her go, pretty well in some of those last 5 games or matchups that she has had. We saw on the 27th, faced off against Seattle Storm, had a 69-58 win with 14 points, 11 rebounds, and 1 assist there. Then on the 28th, faced off against Phoenix and had an 88-72 loss in that matchup with actually 20 points, 8 rebounds, and also 1 assist there. Now, looking at this next matchup after that, we also saw her face off against Chicago Sky on the 30th, and in that matchup actually had a 103-86 win with 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists there. Now, after that, we also saw against Golden State Valkyries on the 1st of this month, had 10 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists there. Then against Atlanta Dream with a 99-83 loss with 16 points, 3 rebs, and 2 assists there. So it definitely has been pretty interesting for, this team, Washington Mystics, but also specifically Shakira Austin. We have definitely seen her do a fantastic job time and time again. But coming into this matchup, as I've mentioned, we do still like the over for this one. Now, obviously, looking at, Chicago Sky and also their most recent matchup actually against, Washington Mystics, we did see Shakira actually go on the under on her lines in points and rebounds. However, as I've always mentioned, there will be times like that. We do believe, or I do believe, that coming into this next one, we are going to see a more probable outcome. There are always times where players beat their lines or go against the unpredictable, sort of outcome. That tends to happen sometimes, but coming into this next one, we should see a very different outcome, which is why we do like the over for someone like Shakira, whether it's points, rebounds, or assists. So coming into this one, definitely keep an eye out for it. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Rickea Jackson. Now, when we look at actually Rickea, we actually do see that, Los Angeles Sparks, she has been playing great for them, but we do also see that she has averaged 13.9 points, 3.3 rebounds, 2 assists, and also 0.6 steals. So definitely has done a fantastic job there. And looking at someone like Rickea Jackson and Los Angeles Sparks, we do know that she actually faces off against Indiana Fever coming into this next game. Now, when we actually look at Rickea Jackson and Indiana Fever, the matchup between them two, we do know Indiana, Los Angeles, looking at where both of these teams do rank, Indiana Fever do come in at the 5th spot in the WNBA. They actually have a record of 17 wins and 12 losses. That's a 58.6% win percentage. They're also 9-6 from home, 8-6 from away, and are currently on a 5-game win streak. Now, looking at the other side of things, obviously Los Angeles Sparks are in another conference. Los Angeles Sparks have struggled a little bit. They find themselves at the 10th spot in the WNBA. Now, they have a record of 12 wins and 15 losses. That's a 44.4% win percentage. Also 3-9 from home, 9-6 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So it's definitely been a little bit tough for Los Angeles Sparks as of recent. But this is definitely going to be an exciting matchup between both of these teams. Now, looking at Indiana Fever, we do know Indiana Fever do come in at the 6th spot in the points department. So they do rank 6th when it comes to points allowed. They rank 2nd when it comes to assists allowed, and then 3rd when it comes to rebounds allowed. So Indiana Fever have shown time and time again that they are a great defensive team. Now, they are a little bit lower in that points category, but coming into this matchup, we do actually like the under for someone like Rickea Jackson, whether it's points, rebounds, and assists. Now, although Indiana Fever do rank a little bit lower in points, the reason why we still do like the under for that is because when we look at Indiana Fever, they actually do a fantastic job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists to the forward position. So coming into this matchup, we do very, very much like the under for this situation here. We definitely see someone like Rickea going on the under due to the fact that Indiana Fever have shown time and time again that they put a lot of their attention and defensive focus on forwards. Now, looking at Rickea over the last 5 games, we see on the 23rd, faced off against Washington, had a 93-86 win in that matchup, had 22 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists there. Then on the 25th, faced off against Connecticut, had a 101-86 win with actually 4 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in that matchup. Then on the 27th, faced off against New York Liberty, had a 101-99 win with 24 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists there. Then on the 30th, faced off against the Aces, had an 89-74 loss with 6 points, 3 rebounds, and 0 assists there. After that, faced off against Seattle Storm with a 108-106 win with 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists there. So it definitely has been pretty interesting. Now, looking at Rickea Jackson, we do also see that Rickea Jackson has obviously had some games where she's done very well, other games where she's done poorly, but we tend to see Rickea definitely struggle against greater defending teams in the forward position, and that's why we are expecting her to struggle in this next one. So for that reason, keep an eye out for Rickea Jackson for the under. As always mentioned, keep an eye out for the line. If the line is too close to her averages, then definitely look to go on the under. Now, getting into the next player, we're going to be talking about Olivia Nelson-Ododa. Now, Olivia Nelson, great player, as we all know, for Connecticut Sun. Now, she has done a fantastic job, averaging 8.8 points, 5.5 rebounds, 0.8 assists, and also 0.7 steals. So it's definitely been an interesting time there because we have seen her do a great job for this Connecticut Sun team. However, Connecticut Sun haven't really been doing the best, but they do face off against Phoenix Mercury in this next matchup. It is definitely going to be an exciting one, but looking at this matchup more intensely, we do know Connecticut Sun do come in at the 13th spot in the actual WNBA. Now, they have a record of 5 wins and 22 losses. Unfortunately, that is a 18.5% win percentage, so very, very low. Now, they rank a 4-11 from home, 1-11 from away, and are currently on a 1-game losing streak. Now, looking at actually their matchup, which is none other than Phoenix Mercury, we do see that, Phoenix Mercury do actually rank 4th in the WNBA. Now, they actually have a record of 17 wins and also 11 losses, which is a 60.7% win percentage. Now, they are 9-4 at home, 8-7 from away, and are currently on a 1-game win streak. So it's definitely been interesting to see there. But looking at this matchup, we do also see that when it actually comes for Olivia Nelson-Ododa, we do also see that Phoenix Mercury, when it comes to defense, rank actually 7th in points allowed. They also rank when it comes to assists allowed 7th, and then rebounds allowed, they also do rank 9th. So it is pretty interesting to see. Now, looking at this matchup, we do also see that Olivia Nelson-Ododa does face off against a Mercury team that do a poor job at restricting points, rebounds, and assists, but also do a very poor job at restricting to the center position. So although Olivia has definitely had some big games in the past, coming into this one, we also expect that again, due to the fact that defensively they have just done a pretty poor job. So definitely keep an eye out for the over for someone like Olivia coming into this matchup. I see a lot of value there to go on the over, especially when it comes to this matchup for her. Now, looking at Olivia over the last 5 games, we do see on the 25th faced off against LA Sparks, had a 101-86 loss there with 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 0 assists. Then on the 28th faced off against Golden State Valkyries, had a 95-64 win with 0 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 assists, but she did only play 9 minutes. Then on the 29th, faced off against Seattle Storm, had a 101-85 loss with 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists there. Then against New York Liberty on the 2nd, had a 78-62 win with 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Then on the 4th, faced off against New York Liberty, had an 87-78 loss with 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 0 assists there. So it is pretty interesting to see. Now, looking at someone like Olivia, like I've mentioned, she has games where she's gone on the over, other games she's gone on the under, but against a matchup like Phoenix, who do a pretty poor job defensively, we are expecting the over for this one.